So, the Heartland Season 14 premiere. I don't even know how to start this video because I have so many emotions when I think about this episode in particular. So today I'm going to talk about two of the most important and most shocking parts of the episode. That being said, if you guys have not seen Heartland Season 14 Episode 1, there will be spoilers in this video. So if you do not want to find out what happens in the first episode of Heartland Season 14, maybe click off this video. So I gave you your spoiler warning. There it is. There will be spoilers in this video. But I think how I'm going to start this video is just by saying that I think a lot of people saw this coming. When I was watching Heartland last night, and as I was, rewatching the trailer before the episode started, I was like, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. It's just, the way the trailer was presented to us was preparing us to say goodbye to a chapter of the show. And within the first 5 minutes, with Ty's death, being right at the beginning of the episode, I was like, wow, okay. And I was sitting in my room watching it with my little sister who's 10, and I was just like, I looked at her and I was like, I can't do this. I started crying and freaking out, and I was like, first of all, I was screaming, I knew it! And she was screaming, no! And it was, yeah. Anyway, no, but the episode was beautifully done. I'm trying not to cry now, just thinking about the episode. But the start of the episode, basically, it pretty much starts off where season 13 ended. And then what I found very interesting with this particular episode, and I don't know if it's going to be the same throughout season 14, but they had a different intro song. And by different, I don't mean a complete different song, that's not what I mean, but it was just a more slowed down, depressing version of the intro song, which I found very interesting, and I think it kind of set the tone for the episode before it even started. But again, right at the beginning of the episode, you do have Ty's death, and he dies because of a blood clot, basically, due to his gunshot wound. I think at least that's how I understood it. Now, I've watched the episode twice. I just finished rewatching it just 5 minutes ago, and honestly, I was holding back tears the entire time. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to say, Hannah, I thought you didn't like Ty. No, I did like Ty, okay? I started watching this show when I was 15 years old, and I just turned 20. Actually, I was 14 years old, and I just turned 20. I grew up with these characters. I grew up with Ty and Amy and watching their relationship. Just because they weren't my favorite relationship on this show, and just because they weren't my favorite characters, does not mean that I wanted Ty to die. I'm sorry if that came across in my videos, but that is not what I meant. And so when I was watching this episode, I knew something was coming, as I had said 40 times already, but I thought I was ready for it. I really did. I thought I had prepared myself. I was like, okay, I've analyzed this trailer millisecond by millisecond. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen to Ty. He's gonna die. He's gonna be injured. Something's gonna happen. And then, boom, right at the start of the episode, the entire fandom starts bawling their eyes out like little babies. And I was just like, no. I really thought I was prepared for it. But when I was watching it, and even as I was just watching it, just then, 5 to 10 minutes ago, I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to watch as a movie reviewer and TV show reviewer. This scene, I feel like a part of my childhood is now gone. And I know that's a big thing to say, but these characters And these casts, or Graham in particular, who has portrayed Ty Borden for over now 13 to 14 years, that's a long time. People have grown up with these characters, myself included. So I've seen a lot of people have said on social media, at least on Instagram, and people who I've been talking to, is like people that are around my age are like, I feel like I lost something that I grew up with. I feel like I lost something that got me through high school. I feel like I lost something that got me through my first year of college, or something like that. Like, I know it's just a TV show, I do, okay? I know it's just a TV show, and the rest of the Heartland cast are very positive for the future of Heartland, so I think that that is definitely something to keep in mind when you're rewatching this episode and, you know, thinking that everything is a disaster and this show is over. No, the cast and crew are very, very positive for the future of the show, and they are going to do a fantastic job, I think, over season 14 and in the coming episodes. Specifically, I think the first 3, so the first episode, second episode, and third episode, I think are really going to kind of make this transition more clear for the fans of Heartland and just tell the final chapter of Ty's story. I also really liked, and even as I was just rewatching the episode just then, I really liked how a year had passed, and there's obviously some major events that took place. Obviously Ty's death is the major one, but then also the whole Lou and Mitch maybe engagement. I don't know, was that an engagement? Was that the ring he was talking about? And she said, I don't know, like, I'm not wearing it. I don't know how Amy will react. Is Lou engaged? What? Also, I don't know how I feel about it being to Mitch and not to Peter, if that is the case. And then Georgie and Quinn. But anyway, I'm going to make a whole other video on those two topics because I have so many thoughts on Ty's death and the future of the show, and I'm just going to focus on that in this video. But I really loved, like I said, how a year had passed, and we know nothing. Going into season 14, we know nothing. And we're learning all about the past events that took place over the time of the year that had passed since season 13. Did that make any sense? Basically, the year that we lost during the time season 13 to 14, we're learning all of the events that took place within the Heartland universe in that time, basically through Amy and through her memories, which I thought that was amazing. I also kind of knew that that was going to happen. I had already talked about, you know, Ty kind of being a ghost or a spirit, and that is exactly what happened, kind of. I mean, she was seeing him, and like certain things would trigger her memory of him and stuff like that, and just certain places, if she was in certain places, she would like see him. For example, when she was up in the loft and she turned around and she saw him there with the 2 cups of coffee, I guess, and like he wasn't there, but she saw him in her memory, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I turned to my sister and I was like, I'm going crazy. I can't do this. I can't watch it. What is happening? And like, I was way more emotional than I thought I would be. I literally thought I could handle it, but apparently not. That being said, Amber Marshall did a phenomenal job in last night's episode. Like, the amount of, like, just pure, I don't even know how to explain it. Her acting, like, performance in last night's episode, and, like, her just performance of portraying the character of Amy going through this, you know, losing her husband, grief process, trying to process everything. She did a phenomenal job. I personally think that this is one of Amber's best acting performances over the 14 seasons. I know it's over 200 episodes of Amber's acting talent that have been portrayed on this show, but last night was just, her performance was absolutely beautiful. It was emotional. She did a phenomenal job, and one thing I'm going to mention about the episode, and I'm probably going to make a separate video talking about this scene in particular, but the scene where Jack is talking to Amy, you really see in that scene how close Jack is to his family, and you really see the connection and the relationship that Jack has with Amy, and you really see, hey, he's always been there for them, he's still there, everything is going to be okay. Yes, unfortunately, Ty has passed away, and the characters of this show are going to have to deal with that as we go further into season 14 and as we progress into the show without the character of Ty Borden being present. And that is hard. That's going to be hard for many Heartland fans, and I'm very aware of that. But you really see, I think that scene with Jack and Amy really tells us that, you know, yes, a character has departed from the show. Graham Wardle has decided to leave the show to pursue other interests, other projects. That is completely fine, and I will 100% support him on whatever he decides to do next. But hey, Heartland is still here. The rest of the characters are still here. The writers have other parts of the story that they want to be told, and they want us to enjoy. We just have to trust them enough to let them explain the story of Heartland going forward without the character of Ty Borden and the characters unfortunately having to learn to live without him being present on the show. I'm really wondering how long the scenes are going to, or the, I guess, memories that Amy is experiencing, or dreams, or whatever they are, where she's seeing Ty, and just stuff like that. I'm wondering how long that is going to continue for season 14. I'm wondering if that is how we are going to know what has happened in the time that has passed since the events of season 13, you know, in the year that has passed since Ty's death. I'm wondering if that is the storyline element and the way that they are going to show the audience, and also tell them, but mostly show the audience what has happened in the past year, you know, since Ty's death. I'm wondering if they are going to use the memories and visions, I guess, that Amy is experiencing to tell the events of the past year. That would be a very interesting thing for Heartland to use to tell the story, because that is not something that we have seen the writers do before, but I would be very interested to see how they would go about that and how they would show the audience what has happened in the time that has taken place between the end of season 13 and the start of season 14. And then I'm going to talk about one final thing in this video, but that is Ty's memorial. Now, I don't even have words to explain and to, like, it was just beautiful, okay? I was in full on, like, my heart was just broken, but also I loved it because it was so beautiful. And I loved when you got to see, you know, Jack and Tim and Lou and all of them, you know, kind of give their memories of Ty. And my favorite was when they showed the flashback of Ty asking Lou for dance lessons because he wanted to take Amy dancing, but he didn't know how. I really loved their use of flashbacks in this episode, and I'm wondering how long that is also going to be a storyline element and a storytelling element for season 14. I really think, if I had to guess, and this is just my complete guess, I am in no way, shape, or form affiliated with Heartland, please remember that. If I had to guess, I would say it is just going to be the first 3 episodes, and the reason I say that is I still have a major question when it comes to episode 3 of season 14, and that is when Ty's mother Lily arrives. I don't quite understand what is going to happen with her character's arrival to Heartland. Obviously, it has something to do with Ty's death. That is pretty clear. But in the trailer, we saw her talking to Amy, or to what made it seem like Amy, and she was kind of angry and mad at Amy for not knowing that someone needed help. And she said he, if I'm not mistaken. So could she be talking about Ty? That's what I thought when I was watching the trailer. But then if that's the case, we already learned in last night's episode that there was nothing that they could have done to save Ty because it was too late. So I don't know if this is just, Lily being, I guess, I don't know. I really have a lot of questions when it comes to that scene in particular, and I guess we'll have to wait 2 weeks to find out. Now, I'm going to close off this video by saying this. I know that a lot of Heartland fans, myself included, if you can't already tell by this video and from what I'm saying in this video, are very heartbroken from the death of Ty Borden in last night's episode of Heartland. I understand that he is a main character, and for many people, he will always be their favorite character. He was one of my favorite characters, despite what you might think. I did love the character of Ty. I know that I made up a bunch of theories surrounding Ty's character before the start of season 14, but that was just to go along with the rumors and speculation that was taking place surrounding his character. Everyone has known for a long time that something was going to happen to Ty in this season. It was easy to tell, it was easy to predict, just by going on the fact that, or going off the fact of how little Graham Wardle was on the set of Heartland Season 14 compared to the rest of the other main characters for Heartland Season 14. And one thing I forgot to mention, and I will mention it now, is I loved that Caleb was at Ty's memorial. I didn't expect that. I thought it was very, very beautiful. I loved it, okay? This episode, it was very emotional, but it was one of my favorite episodes. In a weird way, like, it was so sad, but it was so beautifully done that I'm okay with it. It's sad that Ty is gone. It's sad that he died. It's sad that Graham decided he wanted to leave this show and depart from the show, but they did it in such a way that makes sense, that I will continue to watch and support the cast. And I think that is a very important thing to keep in mind, is that the cast and the rest of the crew are still very much invested in this show, and I don't think it's fair to them for the fans of Heartland to just give up on the show and the rest of the stories that are yet to be told because they're upset about Ty's death and the departure of Graham Wardle. And Amber Marshall herself has said in interviews, and I will link a couple below, that she knows that fans are going to be heartbroken, and she knows that this character's death is going to affect the show, but she is positive for the rest of the story. And she said that in one of the articles, I will try to find the link and link it below so you guys can read it if you want, is that she knows that it might seem that Heartland is like on its last legs, with the season 14 opener, but she's confident in the stories that are still yet to be told, and that gives me hope for the future of the show. And now it's just up to the the fans of the show, if we want to give the rest of the cast and the crew and the writers a chance to tell the story going forward without Ty's character being present. And I know that's hard, and I know it's sad, and trust me when I say that when I was watching the scene where Ty died last night, I was like, oh no. It really hit me last night. I was like, Heartland's not going to be the same. But you know what? Shows change all the time. Characters come and characters go. That's just what happens. And I'm very happy with the way they handled Ty's departure and Graham's departure from this show. I think it was very well done storyline wise, and I think going forward we have a couple of episodes to kind of explain what happened and set the tone for the future of the show. And yeah, I know this video is kind of all over the place, but my feelings for this episode are all over the place. I'm sad and I'm broken that Ty died, and I'm sad that Graham has decided to leave the show. I wish he didn't, but I understand why he did, and I think that it's important for everyone to realize that he has given, you know, now 14 years of his life, or 13 years of his life to this show, and, you know, that's a long time. So he wants to move on and try different things and, you know, pursue other projects and other things in his life. That is completely fine. And I think we all need to understand that and support that. But in saying that, we still need to support the cast and crew that are still a part of this wonderful show and still have so many stories that have yet to be told. And this, wow, that opening, I can't get past the first like 6 minutes. And then the final scene of the episode with Tim destroying the house, I was like, no, don't, like, you could have just left it there, like, okay. And then that, oh my gosh, my heart, like, was just like, no, don't, okay. Anyway, the episode was just amazing, and I have no other words to describe how amazing it was. But anyway, that is just my opinion on the episode, or the season premiere of Heartland season 14. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I'm gonna say this once, and I think it is very important. Please be respectful of everyone else's opinion in the comment section down below. I think a lot of people are very, very heartbroken by Ty's death last night, and I think it is very important to keep in mind that everyone has their own opinion when it comes to characters, when it comes to the show, and when it comes to the future of the show. So just please be respectful. You can express your opinion in the comment section down below if you'd like, but just please be respectful to everyone else and their opinion, as well as everyone is entitled to their own opinion, especially when it comes to things like a TV show. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.